So today I was working on getting the floppy drive buttons done, and I 3D printed some the other day for the 3000, and they turned out okay. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to match the button. So I took a photo of it and I went to the store and I bought some fingernail polish. And this is a Champagne Supernova from somebody called Sally, looks like Thomas or Thompson or something like that. Or anyway, this, although it looked like it for a second, like the tan, it came out like hot pink. I mean, look at the difference in these buttons. So after digging around, the closest I could come was this Krylon spray can, and it's called Satin Almond, and this is pretty much the color of the light tan on the 4000. I mean, yeah, the 3000, 2000, 500. The 12 and 4s are not actually white. There's another color called Satin Cloud or something like that. It's like a bone white. It's not pure white. It is like a little bit off white, because the 4000s aren't actually, and the 1200s aren't actually Bristol white. It's a little bit off of white. But anyway, today I'm going to use my second 3D printed button, because I printed two, and before I go and take this all apart again, I need to anyway, because I forgot to put the hard drive case in. Now what I did do is I added on a IDE card, the expansion systems IDE device, and it has given me a compact flash ability. So I have a rear slot where I can remove, and if I turn this on, I added an inside light, which you'll see blinking away because this is the SCSI. OS 3.1 virus Z is running, and we have 8 megs of fast and 2 mega chip, and that's about all I've gotten done so far. For some reason, no matter what I do, my time is not working. I don't know why. I don't know what time it is. Let's see. So it's the 14th of October, Monday, 14th of October 2019. The current time is 10:36. But anyway, back to the Krylon thing. So I am just going to spray bomb this 3D printed eject button, and with any 3D print you're going to have the banding of, depending on the quality of your printer. Mine is not the greatest, so I have been using these emery boards to smooth this out as best as possible. And I actually did get the one that is in the drive right now smooth, but check out the color difference. This is what I'm talking about, like the pink. You can clearly see that this one is the tan, matching the front fascia, and this one is pinkish. And this eject button is something fierce. Like this one, normal, stops. This sucker will pop this thing all the way out. Anyway, so before I remove this, I'm going to spray the other one and do a comparison. If it's close, it doesn't have to be exact. We're going to go for, I was hoping this color. If I use a gray primer, I should be able to get this color. If not, this is a paint and primer in one, apparently. I've never used this color before, and it's supposed to match the texture of this. Heck with it, you can watch me spray it. Ugh. And I never can get these cans off. So I'm just spraying this to prevent some overspray on a piece of paper. Yep, that is pretty much it. Wow, what a difference. So I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna do a couple coats. Now it's still wet and it hasn't totally dried yet, so here is the floppy buttons. Of course, here's the original. Let me put this disc in so you can see this a little better. So here we go, and there is the spray canned one. It is a little lighter, but if it's underneath the bright light, so if I cover its light, you can see it's pretty close. A hell of a lot better than this pink thing. I mean, look at this one. Let me put another disc. So yeah, much better as far as the lighting. And if I shade it, it's pretty spot on. So if you're looking for a color, it's Krylon spray paint called Satin Almond, and I guess with a couple coats this is going to be pretty much spot on, really close to the top cover too, but I mean, I don't know, what do you think? But it looks a hell of a lot better than this daggone pink. So I gotta spray the bottom because you can see there is the 3D print crap. Now it's been sanded smooth, but it's still like, that's where the if you 3D printed for it, it's called adhesion. It puts a little layer of crap to hold the product you're printing, and then there's some support crap which you have to cut out for the little tips. And like there on the 3000, there's a little ball that sticks up here where it clicks into the floppy drive, and that is all held on by adhesion too. And carefully remove your drive. I like to just kind of give it a wiggle. And here's your floppy drive. Now to remove the 3000 style, there's a little depression, and then you just kind of, you can't see that, kind of pull it off to the side and lift up, and it comes out. There's a groove right here on the floppy drive that this piece slides into. And by tucking in this piece first, now this one is a DF1, so this hole actually should be over here. You'll see that when I put this in here, it is actually over, so the hole should be over here, but I guess just different manufacturers. So that's that, and let's compare the two. So here's what I was talking about and the difference. This is the Krylon, this is the fingernail polish, champagne. So that is going to be sanded down, and we're going to put this one in, and right on top of the other one, it's a pretty daggone close match. Now I'm wondering if I should actually use a 3D printed button for the other side too and match them paint wise. Oh, that's not the drive. So to put this one in, of course, so we're going to insert our piece with the knob on it, and then it just literally slides in, and that's it. And now with the disc, now if we use like my re-kick disc with the little piece of, you can see that when the disc is inserted, it clicks out fine, and this has a very strong spring. So there we go. And you want to lube up this worm gear with either some black or white lithium grease. I chose black. And then the reinsertion is exactly the same. Make sure your screw hole is at the top and it slides in from the front. And just give it a little bit of a wiggle as you go down, and it'll seat just fine. And I always like to make sure that the metal bracket is in first. You'll see it right here coming in and out as I. So put that screw in first, and then reassembly is the same as disassembly. So here we are back with the Amiga reassembled, and the buttons are in and they look freaking wonderful. The Krylon paint works very well. I even decided that the drive for the Amiga 2000 needed a facelift, so I did it in the satin also. There's a little bit of raised up lip right here. I have to trim a little piece of plastic out from where the screen was, but I mean, check it out. And it does a pretty close match, and I like it.